Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 10 minutes. Gentlemen, please be seated. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. I'm good.
All right.
The ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. Please turn off or silence all electronic devices and remove all security badges. Please feel free to move forward and take a seat in the chairs under the tents. Give me a second. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Brigadier General Kirk E. Gibbs, Commander of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, Pacific Ocean Division, and Command Sergeant Major Jamie Lopez, welcome to today's change of command ceremony. This morning, we bid farewell to Colonel Damon A. Delarosa and welcome Colonel Jeffrey S. Palazzini. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guests attending today's ceremony include Mr. Kevin Robinson, civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, and his wife, Ann Robinson; Mr. Jose Sanchez, Director, Pacific Ocean Division, Regional Business; Mr. Greg Kaplan, Office of Senator Lisa Murkowski; Colonel David Wilson, Commander, 673rd Air Base Wing; Chief Master Sergeant Daniel Guzman, Command Chief, 673rd Air Base Wing; Mr. Don Weckhorst, Deputy Commander, 673rd Air Base Wing; Sergeant Major Brian Benson, Installation Sergeant Major, 673rd Air Base Wing; Command Sergeant Major Momar Saab, Non-Commissioned Officer Academy, and all other distinguished visitors and guests. From time immemorial, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victory over an enemy, to honor their heroes, to celebrate special occasions, or to pay homage to their fallen comrades. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to military life. In the United States, the foundation of our present ceremonies was laid by the Continental Army. Today's ceremony is a reflection of procedures practiced since the dawn of our nation. Today's ceremony is derived from our Army's first manual of ceremonies, the Blue Book, written by General von Steuben. The ceremony you are about to see includes the arrival of the official party, honors to the nation, change of command, remarks, and the conclusion. The 11th Airborne Division Band, conducted by Staff Sergeant Milliken, will also participate in today's ceremony. We hope you enjoy this historic event. On behalf of the soldiers, civilians, and families of the Alaska District, Mr. Matt Prikesat, Chief, Office of Counsel, will present red roses to Mrs. Alina De La Rosa, Kent and Kyle are receiving district coins in a tradition of symbolizing the appreciation of the support and contributions made by loved ones. Yellow roses are also being presented to Mrs. Courtney Palazzini and district coins to Nicholas and Gabriella by Karen Farmer, Chief, Resource Management, to welcome them to the organization. Please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for honors to the reviewing officer, our national anthem, and the invocation given by Chaplain Benedict B. Masillam from the Religious Operations Center. Brigadier General Gibbs will confer honors to Colonel Delarosa and family. The colors before you symbolize the very soul of the United States and the USACE Alaska District, for they record the glories of the past, stand as guardian over the present, and inspire in soldiers and civilians the loyalty, duty, and courage to achieve victory in the future. In the past, colors served as the rallying point for soldiers during battle.
Please join me in prayer. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we pause for a moment to invoke your blessing upon this change of command ceremony for the Alaska District, United States Army Corps of Engineers. We are grateful for the superb leadership of Colonel Damon Delarosa. His dedication, devotion, and wisdom are proofs of how he embodied the Army values. Bless him, his wife Alina, and their children, Kent and Kyle, with a life of richness and success as they prepare to move on to the new endeavor. As Colonel Jeffrey Palazzini assumes a position for the Alaska District, may he, with his wife Courtney and their children, Nicholas and Gabriella, be blessed with inspiration, wisdom, and understanding. Guide him in dealing with the current and future challenges of the Army to succeed in all endeavors and continue to lead the Alaska District to victory. I now ask that you shower your blessings and mercy to all soldiers, civilian employees, and the families of the Alaska District, United States Army Corps of Engineers. All these I pray in your most precious and holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Captain Masillam. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The change of command is a simple, traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. The key to the ceremony is the passing of the unit's colors. These colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers and civilians. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there also are the colors. Throughout history, commanders ensured their unit flags were carried by one of their most trusted officers. This practice was used in the United States Army until 1813, when the regulations were changed and the flag was entrusted to color sergeants or sergeants major. District commanders select one of their most trusted civilian advisors to perform these honors. Today, Mr. Randy Bowker, the Division Chief for Program and Project Management and Deputy District Engineer, will have this honored role. The passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of authority from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander. Because of the reverence and the commander's feel towards the colors, it is kept over their left breast during the transfer. The passing of colors demonstrates to the soldiers and civilians of the organization the old commander has passed the mantle of leadership to the new commander. With this, also passes the loyalty of the workforce to their new commander. Mr. Randy Bowker will pass the colors to the outgoing commander for the last time. Colonel Delarosa will pass the colors to Brigadier General Gibbs, signifying successful completion of command. Brigadier General Gibbs will pass the colors to Colonel Palazzini, charging him with the responsibility for the unit as its new commander. By the authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, Alaska District, effective 30 June 2023. Signed, Jeffrey S. Palazzini, Colonel, Engineer, Commanding. Colonel Palazzini will pass the colors back to Mr. Randy Bowker, thus completing the change of command. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of the Pacific Ocean Division, Brigadier General Kirk E. Gibbs.
Thank you. Good morning. It's great to be here. What a beautiful day. I've been here for 3 days, and finally it stopped raining. Before I get started, I've learned two new things this week. Number one, on this installation, no matter the temperature during the summer months, they turn the heat off in hotel rooms as well. And the second thing I learned as I have looked at this district over the past day is there can be a love affair between a commander and a district. And it's a great day for this district. So Mr. Robinson, other distinguished guests, commanders, command sergeants major, family and friends of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and this Alaska district, thank you all for joining us for this very special occasion. Today, we recognize the accomplishments of the Alaska district team. We bid farewell to a superb leader, Colonel Damon Delarosa, and welcome to POD another superb leader, Colonel Jeff Palazzini. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the families of both Damon and Jeff. Behind every soldier is a support system that props them up, keeps them going, and enables that soldier to serve our great nation. For Damon, that's Alina. Alina, thank you for your unwavering devotion to Damon, to the Army, and to our nation, but most especially for your support and dedication to the team here in Alaska. To serve, we make sacrifices, most often in the form of time and memories missed with our families, our children. Kent and Kyle, thank you both for being such great sports about moving every few years, making new friends, and adapting to new places, but most of all, for sharing your father with the Army. Throughout your time in Alaska, you all have become members of the Alaska District and the local community. picking up some cool new hobbies like cross-country skiing, and letting go of other hobbies like snow machining. If you want to know what that means, you're going to have to ask Damon after the ceremony. The Delarosa family, thank you for all your for your serving and bringing such joy to the Alaska District. I'm equally honored to welcome Colonel Palazzini's wife, Courtney, and their two children, Nicholas and Gabby. Courtney, first, congratulations to you and Jeff on 24 years together. From being high school sweethearts to being in the elite West Point 2% Club. And for those of you who don't know what that is, the West Point 2% Club is you don't get into the 2% Club unless you last, your relationship survives all 4 years while Jeff was attending West Point. That's impressive. In fact, I think that deserves a round of applause. Let's give him a round of applause. Courtney, thank you for your commitment. You've undoubtedly been Jeff's rock throughout his entire Army career. Nicholas, congratulations on your acceptance to James Madison University. I'm excited to see your growth as an ROTC cadet, in fact. You're going to be getting a haircut soon, aren't you? You represent the future of the world's greatest military. And as I told you before the ceremony, my son Ryan will also be starting his freshman year at James Madison. He's not currently enrolled in ROTC, but I'm going to point him towards you. And when he's a sophomore, I want him to be. I'm leaving it up to you. All right, Nicholas? I think you two are going to get along great, and maybe you can encourage him. Gabby, I know it can be challenging to move during high school. My son Ryan was about your age when we moved to Hawaii. It was pretty tough on him, but he eventually ended up loving Hawaii, and I know that's Hawaii, this is Alaska, but I personally really like Alaska. He ended up loving it because he got exposure to things he otherwise wouldn't have. I hope that will be true for you too. So I encourage you all to immerse yourselves in the local community, learn the history, and experience the great outdoors during your time here. Okay, now I'm going to speak a little longer than normal, but we kind of get to do that in the Corps of Engineers. We don't have hundreds of soldiers standing on the parade grounds behind us. But the reason I'm going to talk a little longer than I normally prefer to is that this district is very special, and the leadership, outgoing and incoming, is very special. And I want to do that justice today. Since Alaska's establishment as a U.S. territory in 1867, Army engineers have been out here, whether it was to survey this great land or to build the Alaska Highway. As the global arena transformed, so did our defense requirements. And 77 years ago, in 1946, the Alaska District was formally established. The Alaska District's portfolio is diverse and expansive. It involves everything from expanding the missile fields at Fort Greely, repairing facilities damaged by the Cook Inlet earthquake, providing quality of life improvements for soldiers at Fort Wainwright, advancing civil works projects funded by the bipartisan infrastructure law, to cleaning up former World War II sites in the Aleutian Islands, and plenty more. The team here is responsible for the largest district footprint within our division, our region, an area of responsibility that covers more than 500,000 square miles. That's 2.5 times the size of Texas. Within that vastness, the district contends with diverse and formidable challenges like remote project sites, sub-zero temperatures, rugged terrain, and thawing permafrost, as well as the plethora of curveballs Mother Nature throws its way. They do this while also carrying out humanitarian assistance across the Pacific and Southeast Asia in numerous countries. Through it all, we see the Alaska District's can-do spirit reflected in the attitude, actions, and accomplishments of the workforce. This impressive team always perseveres, even when the odds seem insurmountable, to get the job done. The consistency of sound engineering and delivering on promises is why the Alaska District is our country's leader in Arctic engineering and construction. To the incredible people who encompass the Alaska District, thank you for carrying out your mission day in and day out. What you do and what you deliver is critical to our national defense. You are mission enablers for our military counterparts, gatekeepers of our waters, and trusted advisors to our local, state, and federal partners. Thank you. Please join me in a round of applause for this incredible district, incredible team. Today, we recognize the outstanding command tenure of Colonel Damon Delarosa. Damon, you are a superb leader and an exceptional human being. I'm so proud of what you and the district have accomplished over the past 35 months. As many of you personally know, the pandemic impacted every part of our lives, particularly early in his command. And I had just taken command in POD. In fact, I was virtual when I did the change of command ceremony when he came into this district. I think that there was some type of screen with my face on it, and I actually gave remarks. I hope I never have to do that again. I like doing it in person. But the pandemic impacted every part of our lives, from work to our families and homes. Damon's assumption of command was virtual, nothing like what we see here today. And that would be one of the challenges he'd face from the start of his tenure, building connections with a remote workforce. I'll touch on this in a little bit. First, I want to recognize some of the great work accomplished during his tenure. Great leaders like Damon believe that investing in people, empowering the team, and building meaningful relationships deliver results. During his time in command, the Alaska District delivered projects valued at $1.8 billion. This includes the $300 million C-17 bed-down foreign military sales program in India. If you know the history about that project, you know it was pretty cool when we got that done last summer. And Damon and I and Randy were all in India, and we were able to turn that over to the Indian Air Force. The team got it done. Then we have the Missile Defense Agency. Our team here finished the $200 million long-range discrimination radar program within budget and early. Now MDA is looking for Alaska District to deliver other projects across the world, not just in this footprint. Midway into command, the district received a 2,000% increase in their civil works funding, ballooning the district's civil works program from $50 million to nearly $1 billion. And that was no coincidence. Randy, Damon, and the entire Alaska District team set the standard for the enterprise in terms of how we set the stage for civil works. Everything from the relationships with our stakeholders and congressional delegation to reprogramming and getting projects shovel ready, meaning ready to go when the funding is available. They set the standard across USACE for that. I'd like to add that during my discussion last week with Senator Murkowski in Washington, D.C., she bragged on this district. She bragged on Colonel Delarosa's leadership and advocacy for Alaska over the last 3 years. And she asked me to relay her gratitude and her thanks to you, Damon. I could go on about all the successes over the past 3 years, but it all comes down to one thing that Damon's done and excelled at: establishing and maintaining strong relationships with our stakeholders and partners. Damon made tribal engagement a priority across all business lines and by all district employees. With 227 federally recognized tribes, 12 regional corporations, and over 150 village corporations in Alaska, every project we are responsible for here impacts a tribe in some way. To build these relationships, he engaged in more than a handful of excursions with tribal leaders, and as a result, our tribal collaboration is stronger and our efforts are more impactful. I can attest to one particular visit where Damon, myself, and Major General Graham, our DCG for Civil Works, flew into Elam. It was negative 20 degrees. There's not many times I've been that cold standing on the water looking at a project. I think we lasted about 8 minutes. But when we flew into Elam on a very small airfield, there was no one there to pick us up. But a villager happened to drive up to see what the noise was. Who could be flying in today? Had a pickup truck. It's the height of COVID. He didn't have a mask. He goes, "I'll give you a ride, but you got to get in the back of the pickup." Okay, so we got in the back of the pickup. It probably wasn't that long of a ride, but it sure seemed like it. Negative 20 degrees riding in the back of a pickup truck. That's just one example. And I would think that's probably a much milder story than the experiences Damon had and would gladly have again to strengthen those relationships. His level of sincerity and commitment is why it came as no shock when we learned that Damon had been selected as the recipient of the 2023 Federal Asian Pacific American Council Uniformed Services Award. Damon, the recognition was so well deserved, and I couldn't be prouder that I've been on your team the past 3 years. Let's give Damon Delarosa a hand. However, I'm not stopping talking about you yet. I know you'd like me to, but I'm not. I spoke a lot about Damon's impact on the Alaska District program, but equally as important as the milestones and successes are the team members who execute day in and day out. When he arrived, Damon realized the critical nature of connecting with his team in a COVID environment. So he started the Commander's Coffee Corner, which was a live stream platform that provided the workforce with a direct line of communication to ask questions, see him both as a person and a leader, but most especially to forge a sense of connection with his team. He opened himself up, and his compassion trickled down throughout the organization, ultimately bringing the workforce together and providing much needed healing at that particular time. Following a period where it was a tough time based on the previous command. I'll just be honest. And he was the right leader at the right time. And he transitioned that command into a family. And I sincerely believe that. Through it all, Damon never took his eye off empowering the workforce, developing and training staff, and creating opportunities to bring the team together, like establishing Team Alaska's Turkey Bowl. He's a two-time Turkey Bowl champion. I'm told that if there's one line I had to get in this speech, that had to be it. I don't know why. He likes winning. But more glorious than the actual wins was the morale boost for the workforce. Damon, you accomplished something special that not all leaders can. You rebuilt camaraderie, the kind that only truly exists when a team experiences shared hardship and adversity, but comes out on the other side stronger. As I already stated, you were unequivocally the right leader at the right time. I'm going to give just a few comments from across your workforce that when we reached out to them to collect. When asked about what the workforce will miss most, there was a theme that weaved through most responses, and the following input best characterizes that theme. We will miss his warmth as a genuine person, his optimism, his positive energy, and his contagious smile. He will be remembered as a commander who led us out of a difficult period in our history. He was a shining light during a very dark time. He took the time to really get to know employees. He's known for walking around on Fridays with his coffee cup in hand to see what's happening, even when the coffee cup was empty. But he never ran out of friendly conversation. When asked about what Colonel Delarosa is known for amongst the workforce, the Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage on display daily. Leadership that is easy to follow, caring, personable, transparent. I don't know about you all. I only hope to be described like that. And when asked about what Colonel Delarosa would be remembered for, there was one particular comment that was incredibly powerful. He inspired us to be our best when the world seemed at its worst. That speaks volumes about the leader Damon is and the impact he's had here. Damon, you've left an indelible mark on Team Alaska and will be greatly missed. But I personally don't believe this is the last time we're going to see NPOD. I can't be sure of it, but I'm going to do everything I can to get you back out of here. And for all of you who know what that means, there's one job remaining for Damon in this division. So I'm honored to have served with you and for you. Godspeed at Army War College, class president. Have fun. Let's give him a hand. Now I turn my attention to Colonel Jeff Palazzini. I've known him for about 8 years now. And Alaska District, let me just tell you, you're lucky. To get two commanders back to back like these two gentlemen is so fortunate for not only the district, but for our region. It's our great privilege to have another proven USACE leader. He's been a deputy in Sacramento District. That's where I got to know him. He was the commander of an 05 district, Charleston. So he has an exceptional amount of experience with the U.S. Army Corps. And it's not only impressive, but it displays the well-rounded leader that we're so happy to have up here. Jeff is a New Jersey native. Any cheers? Who comes from a lineage of American patriots, which is why he was inspired to join the military. He commissioned as an engineer officer from West Point and received an MBA from UPenn's Wharton School of Business. Colonel Palazzini most recently served at both the Defense Intelligence Agency and the Defense Threat Reduction Agency in the National Capital Region. He's a proven soldier and leader who will use his talent to take Team Alaska to the next level. Jeff, you already know this, but you're accepting responsibility of this important command at a time when our ability to enhance and deliver on behalf of the nation has never been more imperative than it is today. Always remember that command is the highest privilege that the Army can bestow on a commissioned officer. I have full faith and confidence that you are the right person to take on this responsibility. We look forward to your leadership, and we welcome you, Courtney, Nicholas, and Gabby into our POD family. In closing, once again, to the Alaska District team and partners, we have much work ahead of us in the coming years, but I know we are up to the challenge. Know that the United States, its partners and allies could not be better served by what you deliver here every day. I am proud to serve with and for you. Thank you once again for your service and dedication in support of our great nation. SAONs, building strong. Thanks for your patience as I talked a little long today.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the former commander of the Alaska District, Colonel Damon A. Delarosa.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Those of you that know me know this might get a little emotional because I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I think there's already bets out there about how long I last. So we'll see how that goes. But good morning. Thank you all for being here. You know, it like General Gibbs said, I think it's the skies, the blue skies finally come out. We had a chance to look at a slideshow earlier of my time in command, and I forgot to make a mention of a comment about that. I think 90% of the photos of the last 3 years that they had of me all had snow or ice. So there must have been this is one of those 2 months that we don't have snow or ice on the ground. But again, thank you all for being here in person and virtually around the world. You know, it is great looking out here this morning. I think this is the most Army I've seen on this side of the installation in one gathering. So thank you. Welcome to the Elmendorf side of Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. Let me remove this spider from the book. All right. Obviously, I'd like to give special thanks to our honored guests. Mr. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson, thank you for being here. Brigadier General Gibbs, Mr. Sanchez, Command Sergeant Major Lopez, our great community leaders and representatives, fellow commanders and enlisted advisors, and of course, families and friends. Thank you all for being here. This is a very special day for me. Brigadier General Gibbs, you know, thank you for your kind words. Our general rule around here is it only has to be 5% true. I think you hit that one right on the mark. So I do appreciate that. In all seriousness, I feel blessed to have served as a district commander for you this past 3 years. I cannot tell you how happy I was to learn you were going to be the commander of the Pacific Ocean Division. At the same time, I was learning that I was going to be the Alaska District Commander. So glad to have been able to work for you. Thank you for your leadership and mentorship, but most importantly, your trust and confidence in me in this great district. Alina and I will be forever grateful to you and Kim. What was that, like a minute? Did I make about a minute? All right. Thank you for everything. All right, I haven't even got to you yet. Hold on. Okay. It has been an incredible 3 years of command, and I could not have done it without my wonderful family. So here we go. We'll go ahead and get the emotional stuff out of the way up front, although General Gibbs clearly got in the emotional side as well. With me on the road traveling about half the year, it takes a strong, supportive family, which of course is led by the boss of the house, my loving wife, Alina. Thank you for laughing. That makes me feel better. All right. You are the rock the foundation that makes it possible for me to do my job, oftentimes at the sacrifice of your own career. At your own career and personal dreams. Thank you doesn't begin to express my appreciation for you. So as we start our cross-country adventure this weekend, we will celebrate 14 years of marriage on the 4th. It is our 8th move together, and we will be somewhere in Canada. So I will unfortunately fall short of my promise to you to have fireworks every year on our anniversary. So I'll go ahead and say the 3 words I never say. I am sorry. To my boys, Kent and Kyle, you have grown so much and in every way since we have been here, much to your mother's chagrin. They say military children are resilient, but the truth of the matter is you don't have a choice. As you prepare to start 6th and 8th grades in a couple months in your 7th school, I know your life isn't an easy one. But I'm so proud of both of you, and thankful you're my sons. I promise you, we will eventually get through this whole thing. All right. Commanding a district is a lot of work, but I have been blessed with tremendous help. To my corporate board, I could not have asked for a better group of senior leaders to help light the path for this district. I have learned so much from each of you. Thank you for your mentorship. Thank you for your frank and open discussions. And thank you for being family. I will truly miss you all. But having a corporate board still isn't enough to help lead a district. I'm lucky enough to have an incredible deputy commander and deputy district engineer. First, my deputy commander. Where'd she run off to? There she is, hiding behind the flags. To my deputy commander, Lieutenant Colonel Virginia Brickner, and before her, Lieutenant Colonel Penny Bladel. 2 outstanding officers that made this district better each and every day. Virginia, the initiatives you started into employee recognition and facility improvements have made this a better place for everyone to work each and every day. Your herding of cats and managing suspenses has been invaluable. Heck, with all my travel, you have probably led this district. You probably commanded this district more than I have. I will miss your banter and heckling, especially during football season. Although I will say, I'm glad the boss got in the Turkey Bowl. So, you know, I have a feeling that Colonel Palazzini will keep that trophy in that commander's office for the next 3 years. You have a very bright future ahead of you, and I look forward to seeing you on the battalion command list next spring. Next, my battle buddy, the person I've had more candlelit dinners with and spent more holidays with than my wife. I'm glad you recognize that as well, Randy. My deputy district engineer and DPM, Mr. Randy Balker, aka Jeeves. I almost got you a little hat too. For those that Randy is the one who always drives us everywhere and keeps us going. I've enjoyed our relationship both professionally and personally. We have literally traveled around the world together twice. I think almost 3 times. Thank you for your mentorship and friendship. I've grown so much these past 3 years, largely in part due to you. I will miss our many talks about life, family, and of course, work. And I don't know who's going to remind me to check for my phone and my credit card. But thank you for everything, Randy. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my incredible executive office, led by the one and only Jackie Leisman. Where'd Jackie run off to? There she is. Mama Bear, I expressed how important you are to me at your retirement ceremony a few weeks ago, and I'm not emotionally prepared to do that again today. So, so I will just say to you, thank you for taking care of the Delarosa family from the moment we got the call to get here early, all the way to the very end. Christy, Phil, and Pam, I truly don't know what I would have done without you. You are wizards of managing my travel calendars and administrivia, and most importantly, keeping me from going off the rails. To our division executive office, senior executives, Mr. Sanchez and Mr. Lilly, thank you for all your mentorship and guidance. It has truly been invaluable. I'm sure the division will be glad to be back down to just one Damon. Unfortunately, you're stuck with the bad Damon. Command Sergeant Major Lopez and Command Sergeant Major Galick before you. You are the standard bearers for this division and have been an incredible sounding board for us commanders. Thank you for always having a finger on the pulse of the division and providing great insight to us. My fellow district commanders, Colonels Crary, Varel, Levy, and Bonham, and Lieutenant Colonels Marshall and Peavy. Despite the vast distances between our districts, we have been able to collaborate to support the region. It has been great working with you all, and I wish you all the best. I do have to thank our congressional delegation. Greg, I'm glad to see you here. I know you're moving back and forth. There you are, Greg. You know, much of what we have been able to build and will continue to build for the state of Alaska is in large part due to the incredible efforts of Senator Murkowski and Sullivan. I will certainly miss the meaningful and sincere meetings with both of them. I took this out of my speech, but I'm going to add it back in because I think it's just one of those things. I remember personally, you know, I was on leave after making a very, very big decision for the state of Alaska and receiving a phone call from Senator Murkowski while on leave on my personal cell phone just to say thank you. And I will never forget that. If I keep going down the list of people that I want to thank, we'll be here all day and I'll run out of tissues. So I'll change direction and celebrate some of the district's accomplishments because of all of you. Team Alaska, this command has been the highlight of my career. We wanted an adventure and we got one personally and professionally. This district is an absolutely hidden gem that most of the Corps mistakenly overlooks. You've delivered $1.8 billion, that's with a B, worth of work to Alaska and Asia over the last 3 years. You are the nation's experts in Arctic engineering, and you have proved it time and again. I mean, who else places concrete at minus 20 degrees? Our military programs have improved the quality of life for soldiers, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and most recently, Guardians across Alaska. Hey, Kyle, I threw that one in there just for you, buddy. You've enhanced the umbrella of missile defense with the construction of a one-of-a-kind, cutting-edge, long-range discrimination radar on Clear Space Force Station and complementing interceptors on Fort Greely, not to mention the state-of-the-art supporting infrastructure. The bed down of 2 F-35 squadrons increased the infrastructure of Eielson Air Force Base by a third and enabled the projection of the nation's premier fighters into the Pacific. The runway extension you're doing here on J-Bear is literally removing a mountain in order to facilitate unobstructed force projection. Just to name a few of the little things we have done in support of our military here in the Alaska District. But this is only about a third of our program. What you are doing for the communities of Alaska is absolutely vital to their existence. Whether it's an annual dredging of subsistence harbors, building protection against coastal erosion, breakwaters to protect boats, expanding and building harbors, managing waterways, or remediating environmental contamination of flood sites. Every one of these projects matters. Every one of them makes a difference to those communities. Thank you. And then there's my regulators, having the most controversial program, protecting the nation's aquatic resources while allowing reasonable development. You are loved or hated or both sometimes. You have teed up some biggies for me, and despite the challenges and sometimes attacks, you remain absolute professionals. Whether you're supporting the national emergencies here in Alaska, like Typhoon Merbok, or elsewhere in the lower 48, this district is filled with selfless servants, committed to helping the less fortunate. So it is no surprise to me why our team working our humanitarian assistance programs in Asia works so hard to stretch a paper-thin budget to make such impactful marks in those impoverished communities. Thank you all for answering the call to serve something bigger than yourselves. Team, I know I've only scratched the surface of what you have all done, but know that it does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. What you're doing today will impact for generations. I'm sure Brigadier General Talley, is the father of engineering here in Alaska, looks down upon you proudly today in what you're doing. Jeff, I can't tell you how happy I was to know that you're the one that I was handing this great district over to you. We've known each other for a number of years, but who would have thought neighbors from Alexandria, Virginia would have ended up here in Anchorage, Alaska together. We certainly hope you, Courtney, and Gabriella have a great time, have some incredible adventures while you're here. Sorry, Nicholas. I know you're heading back to the East Coast for school, but I do hope you're able to get some good fishing in before you leave. All right, so as I wrap it up, thank you all for this incredible ride. I've been able to see more of Alaska than most ever will. I've been able to look in the eyes of those you affect, and I will say this one last time: what you do matters. North to the future, Essayons, building strong.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alaska District Commander, Colonel Jeffrey Palazzini.
Mr. Robinson, Brigadier General Gibbs, Mr. Sanchez, Command Sergeant Major Lopez, community leaders, fellow command teams, friends of the district, and most importantly, great professionals of the Alaska District. General Gibbs, thank you for the opportunity to command such an accomplished district. Since my first trip here in March, the positive impact of this district on the state and the nation has been evident. The district's reputation is stellar, and the Palazzini family is extremely excited to join this team. We've passed our first test in making the drive here from Virginia and look forward to many more adventures in Alaska. Additionally, thank you to the many colleagues and mentors who have taken the time to help me become a better officer and a better leader. Some are here in person, representing my first assignment at the 16th Engineer Battalion in Germany, and also my most recent USACE assignment at the Charleston District. Some are watching online. I can't adequately express my appreciation for your support, but thank you for being part of preparing me to accept the responsibilities of command. None of this is possible without the love and support of my family. Our parents and extended families are watching from the East Coast and have continued to provide a welcoming home base throughout our 24 years of travels. We can't wait for all of you to visit us. And to Courtney, Nicholas, and Gabriella, thank you for enthusiastically embracing yet another move. Having the three of you here today means everything. Finally, Damon, it's no surprise that you depart with such an accomplished legacy from your time in command. Your commitment to the district during our transition has been inspiring, and I look forward to continuing the vision you've set in motion. Thank you for an absolutely first-rate handoff, and we wish you and your family continued success. One last thank you to the band, the chaplain, and all the district employees involved in setting up such a professional ceremony. Everything looks and sounds great. Well done. We are thrilled to be here, and I look forward to getting to work with this fantastic team and our many important partners. All current policies and procedures remain in effect. Essayons, building strong.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in the singing of the Engineer and Army songs. The words are located on the back of your program. In the castle on my collar, I've done my training for the team. You can call me an engineer soldier. The warrior spirit has been my dream. Essay on, whether in war or peace, we will wear our red and our white. Essay on, we serve America and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Essay on, essay on. March along, sing our song. We're the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army is rolling along. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of the Commander of the Pacific Ocean Division, we wish to thank you for your attendance at today's change of command. Colonel and Mrs. Delarosa will receive friends and well-wishers at the end of the sidewalk. Colonel and Mrs. Palazzini will be standing at the front of the walkway behind me for the receiving line. Please form a line to the left. You are invited to join a reception hosted by Colonel and Mrs. Palazzini under the tent near the pavilion. The jazz combo music is provided by the 11th Airborne Division Band for the Alaska-themed reception. Thank you.